been quite a few questions on YouTube and various media asking about using the Spherical to do things other than spheres and round bowls. And of course, a lot of questions about oval bowls. And there's some good videos, people doing oval bowls where they do a circular bowl and then join them together, so you end up with a long lozenge shaped type of bowl or a dough bowl. There's some really good videos, people doing that, but so far not very many showing a proper oval bowl. So I'm assuming that most of you already know how to scribe a proper oval, but if not, there's some really good videos you can go to. You can see me doing it here. And I produced two identical oval pieces of Mary, which I'm going to carve into two types of bowls. Now the first one, I'm going to simply superimpose a spherical shape bowl into that and a spherical shape base. And that should result in it being higher on the ends, lower on the sides, and with a perfectly symmetrical or spherical shaped base bowl and the base. That's one type. The other that I'm going to try is actually doing a gradually, a proper oval bowl that's quite even on the inside, but with the lip around the outside all being at the one level. Now, this will require me to adjust the Spherical quite a lot. So obviously I would have a much deeper profile with the Spherical for doing a small circular area here, and then it would have to get it gradually larger and larger and then smaller and smaller. So this is going to take a bit more of a technique. And it's going to be the same with the base too. Obviously I'm going to use a steeper curve on the corners, and then I'm going to have to flatten it out as I go around the wider areas. So I want to see if I can get a good oval shaped bowl just using the Spherical. So I'm going to start in the same manner as if I was doing a fully circular bowl. I'm going to start in the center and I'm just going to build a circle following the curve that comes from setting the guard, and then I'll expand that out. And I'm going to expand that curve until I reach these very outer edge, which means the center will be a bit lower, but it will be just a perfectly spherical kind of shape superimposed onto this. You can see I've started the dish here. You can see I'm too close to that edge. I'm always going back to the center to make sure that it's a nice spherical shape, but the sphere is actually too far that way. So all I'll do is with the same setting, I'll just start to take this edge away, which will expand the sphere, but only on this side. So you can always move it around as you're expanding the shape. So I'll do that, and I'm going to expand that now until it's touching the two edges, and it'll be inside there, but then I will start to expand it until it touches those edges, and obviously goes lower and cuts down here. So it'll be sort of a banana-shaped bowl. Well, here you see I'm nearly at the edges here. That's quite a nice curve. If I continue with that same curve, I think that'll be about right to not go through the bottom. So I may have to adjust it as I go. I'll be checking for the depth. I can also see that the dish is a little bit over to the left, so I'll concentrate on building it, cutting at the right here and bringing it over more towards the center. I've extended the half sphere or whatever it is to the edges of the oval, and the sides have only dropped about half an inch or so, but the actual dish is now 32 millimeters, and it's a 50 millimeter wide board, so that's about right. So that was just lucky. So now what I'll do is I'll just put the sanding disc on, and I'll just sand it up before I do the other side. Because when you put the sanding disc on, you need to readjust this, because the sanding disc sticks out a bit more than the cutting disc. So you just need to adjust it accordingly. So just until it's touching the guard. Now, I've just spent a bit of time getting the actual profile of the oval correct. I should have done that at the beginning. I do recommend that, because if the profile's not perfect, then you'll start to see imperfections as the sphere intersects with it. You'll get a wriggly line instead of a nice oval. Get your oval shape, maybe sanded, etc., until you're quite happy with the oval shape before you start doing it. Although I did it afterwards, it's still coming up okay. So now the tricky thing to do will be to superimpose a sphere on the other side, which I shall try to do now. When I put it in this position and it's turning, it won't cut. But as I lean over, it'll start to cut. And that starts to dictate the radius here. And so you can start to see the shape and the angle that you're going to get. If I have it, the cutter in there further, it'll be steeper. And if I have the cutter further out, it'll be flatter. So I can look there and I can see whether or not it's going to be the right angle relative to the curve on the other side. This looks a little bit flat, but I'll just continue it a bit and I can adjust it further going on. So just watching here, I'm going to start it up and then I'm going to bring it over the edge and start cutting, and you'll see it produces a curve, because you'll always get a circle where a sphere intersects a flat plane. I've just been filling a few of these little holes using this star bond, which I think is just a type of super glue with an accelerator. It's quite good and quite quick for filling little pinholes and things like that. And now I'm rounding the edges, and I like to use my Merker sander, this is a great sander, this, to roll over those edges and get the edges nice and smooth.